Welcome to Modern Home Mastermind with beSpoke Brokers. I'm Shauna Glazier, designated broker and owner.
And I'm Brittany Williamson, associate broker. Shauna and I are bespoke real estate, but we're also your guides to modern luxury across the entire state of Arizona.
Each week, we chat with masterminds shaping the modern spaces. Do you want to get a behind-the-scenes look at your design build team's processes? Well, open communication and teamwork will lead you to a successful project.
From architects to builders, designers, and more, let's explore the art of modern living together.
All right, if someone walked into your home right now, would your space actually reflect your personality and lifestyle? Or would it feel like a collection of random furniture you've accumulated over time? Today, we're talking with Kate Longley, who helps people transform their homes into spaces that feel elevated, intentional, and uniquely theirs.
That's right. Kate is the founder and principal designer of Kate Longley Designs, a Scottsdale-based full-service interior design firm. She earned degrees from both the University of Arizona and Arizona State University before launching her firm, where she now creates sophisticated, highly personalized homes through seamless, full-service design process.
All right, welcome, Kate.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited to have some conversations with you. We know you've worked with a wide range of clients, from families to busy professionals. How do you approach designing homes so it feels uniquely tailored to each client when they're all so different?
Well, I mean, that's the fun part, right? I get bored if I do the same house more than once. So I love that I have people with different styles and different tastes. But the goal is to really make it feel like their sanctuary and someplace that's unique to them. And so, first of all, it's all about listening and doing like a detailed intake questionnaire where I ask them, things like, do you entertain? How often do you entertain? When you're entertaining, are people mostly in the family room? Are they in the kitchen? Are they in the backyard? Do you have guests that stay at the house? How often do your guests stay at the house? Do you have pets? Do you have children? How tall is the main cook in the house? Because, we can do 36-inch counters like we always do, or you can make them 38 inches if you're like 6'5",
Great question.
Yeah, I mean, we really, and also I'll ask them, how often do you cook? Because I'm not going to do a $100,000 appliance package if somebody is not cooking. I'd rather take that money and spend it someplace else because they're always, it seems, is a finite number of dollars, so we want to spend it to have the most impact. But it's a lot of fun, and I try to avoid doing anything twice. So I don't like it when people look at my website and say, I want that, which they do sometimes. So then I have to kind of guide them differently. But I try to really assess their individual personality and what they're going to need.
I have to take it back a little bit. When we first met you, at the time, I know you work with a wide range of clients, but at the time, you just so happened to have a whole bunch of Bachelor clients. I want to know what it was like creating for that sect of people, because we walk in homes all the time and we're like, a woman has never been in here and it's obvious. So how'd you help those guys out?
Yeah, it was wild for a period of about 2 years. I went through a span where I had 5 single guy clients at the same time. And so my friends were jokingly calling me the bachelor pad designer. And so there are just rules that I have to introduce them to immediately when we start the project. For example, LED lights should be white or yellowish white. They should not be blue or purple or pink unless they're in a bowling alley, okay? We do not need to have different color LED lights. I don't know why men love changing color LED lights so much, but it's horrible.
That's hilarious.
Anyways, you should not have a golf simulator in your living room. That's the first thing that you see when you walk in the front door. If you're a single guy living by yourself, you have another bedroom for that. Yeah. Put it in a bedroom. Don't put it in the living room. Oh, yeah. 2 nightstands. 2 nightstands. This seems obvious to everyone on the planet except for single men. They think, oh, it's just me. I only need 1 nightstand. No, that's not the case. You need to have 2 nightstands. That's a thing.
You need some symmetry in the room.
Yes, it looks silly without it. Not to mention, your guests can't find a place to put their drink of water at night. It's a little, think of the other people that might be visiting your house. If you ever want to have a woman, stay the night, you should probably be prepared to have 2 nightstands.
Yes.
Did you find these clients that they listened to your advice pretty easily?
Oh, yeah, because they honestly, I'm their target market, right? They want to have single women that want to be in their house.
Right.
So if I tell them this is how single women feel, they tend to believe me.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I can imagine like lighting in bathrooms also is something you probably help them with.
Yeah. I mean, you want to have different levels of lighting you've got your recessed lighting, and then it's good to have sconces for nicer lighting. I think men have a thing with 5,000 kelvins, like they want it to be like as white as it possibly goes. I think 2,700 or 3,000 kelvins is all we need. We don't need 4,000 kelvins. So
It's not a runway.
yeah, so I mean, those are things to teach them, but overall, it's a good experience, and they tend to let me do whatever I want, which is a nice experience for me as well. So I like working with single guys too. It's great.
Yeah. Great. Well, thanks for sharing that. I've always wondered the background on the Bachelor designer. All right. Your process is designed for busy, high-performing clients who don't want to manage every detail of the project. What does that white glove design experience actually look like from start to finish?
Well, first of all, I talk to them about how do you want this to go? How often do you want to talk to me? Because some people, I mean, I have a client right now that wants to talk to me every day. So I, like to have a happy medium. Maybe we're not talking every day, but some clients just want to do a Zoom call every 2 weeks, and that's it. That's all they want is a 30-minute Zoom call, just be done. So that's the first part. But then with our detailed intake questionnaire, I'm asking all the questions up front so that I'm not peppering you with questions throughout the project. And then we handle all sourcing and procurement. So you're not out shopping. In fact, I don't really like my clients to go shopping at all. I like to handle all of that for them because really it creates a better design. You're hiring me to design the space, so why would you want to do it yourself? And then things like returns and warranties. If something happens with your sofa and it's under warranty, I'll handle that for you at no extra charge. And like managing orders, I want to have a good timeline for my clients, and I'm constantly updating them. It depends on who the client is. If I'm working for a builder, then I'm going to send them an email once a week updating them on everything. Some homeowners don't need that much detail, and they're good with just, hey, this is coming in May, and then I let them know once a month when things are coming. But it depends, like I said, it depends on the client, but we try to make it so that they're not chasing after me. If anything, I'm chasing after them.
Right.
That's great. What are you seeing in the market right now with ordering furniture and things like that? Are we looking at back orders, or are we more on track now than we were?
Well, interior design is a game of patience. I have yet to design a home where we don't have one straggler item that we wait for a year, no matter what's going on. I ordered some side tables last summer in June, and they are now floating on the water in a boat somewhere. So they'll arrive here probably in June. Wow. And the whole rest of the house is done. So they said that they were in stock when I ordered them. So, at some point in January, I updated the client and said, do you want to select something else? And they said, no, we really, really want those side tables. So we'll go ahead and wait. But it seems as though with every single project, there's one thing that just struggles to get there, and we wait forever for it. But I try to work with my clients. Like some things, I'm doing an office right now, and they were really excited to get everything quick. So one of my showrooms had a sample sale where we were buying things off the floor. So I took them with me and I said, let's buy this, this, and this. And they were thrilled, and they got to take it home with them at the end of the week. So there are opportunities to do that. But I will say nice furniture doesn't show up at your doorstep in 3 weeks.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of our clients are looking at remodeling, and I think it would be helpful to know which areas increase the perceived value of the home most, in your opinion.
Yeah, so obviously the kitchen is number one and the bathrooms are number two. That's really where you want to spend your money. And in the kitchen, natural stone is the way to go now. We're not looking at quartz anymore. And custom built-in features like coffee bars, wine rooms, millwork, custom millwork, custom cabinetry. All of that adds value. And then use the same quality of materials throughout the home. So I don't want to see builder grade quartz in one bathroom and marble in another. It just looks like the house has to be remodeled. And, most buyers don't want to buy a house that has to be remodeled. I mean, obviously I work with the ones that do, but if you can keep it consistent throughout the house, then the buyer doesn't feel like they have to walk in and immediately change something.
But I think those higher quality materials kind of stand the test of time a little bit better too.
Yes. Well, and they don't really go out of style
Right.
as much either. Yeah.
Makes sense.
So how do you design differently for like your spec projects that's maybe for a developer versus for a client who is just building their own custom home?
Well, when you build for a developer, you have to have broad mass appeal. And so it's kind of the antithesis of when I design for a client. Like, for example, we're doing warm tones now is the way that we're going with beiges and creams and neutrals. And I had a client this year that says, I want white and I want silver accents and gray accents, but I want all white furniture. So we did it. We did all white furniture and we did silver accents. And then, but if I were building for a builder, I wouldn't do that because that's very specific to her. I mean, the goal with the spec build is you want to be, going with the trends, but not doing anything that sticks out to be alienating anyone, and really to make sure that the most of the people will like it when they walk in. I mean, other things we do for a specific homeowner is maybe we'll put in a gym. I don't see a lot of gyms in spec builds because, that could be an extra bedroom. And I would say most people would prefer to have an extra bedroom versus a gym, unless you say, okay, this is a single couple with no children that's going to be buying this house. Then you say, all right, well, then maybe they do want a gym.
It sounds like for the spec house, you're putting in whatever appeals to the masses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And following really trends in interior design as opposed to specific preferences.
Yeah, which is why we saw so much white and gray for the longest time. And
Yes.
now it is moving towards like more natural,
Yes.
warmer tones.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
I
Exactly.
Yeah. Can we look at some of your projects? I know
Yeah,
you brought
sure.
a couple photos for us.
Yeah.
Be sure, just know that not everybody's watching this. So if you can describe what we're seeing and kind of what
Sure.
you did, that would be lovely.
Sure. So this was a full home remodel in Arcadia. And as you can see by the old kitchen cabinets, that they were an orangey brownish color, and the island was very small and the rooms were closed off. And this one we actually knocked out. It was a 2,000 square foot house, and we knocked out pretty much all the center walls and just left the walls around the bedrooms. And so all the rooms between the dining room and the family room and the living room were all taken out in the kitchen. So then we built a large island so that, a place for guests to gather around and people to eat at the breakfast bar. He actually didn't want a kitchen table, so we did just a dining table and a breakfast bar, which is pretty standard. A lot of people are doing that these days. And we went with light hardwood, and then he likes black. You're gonna see in these pictures the black is the common theme. I'm not Morticia. I'm not the black interior designer. It just happens that I had clients that liked black all in a row. So I promise I'm not wearing black, if you can see. So that's
This
pretty
is very
much
pretty, though. It's a contrast.
Yeah.
And I think we've had some clients just recently that we've gone in some very neutral homes, and they like this kind of contrast. So I think it does appeal to people.
Okay, yeah. We can look at the next one. So this is a powder room that I did in Paradise Valley, and I absolutely love how it turned out. This was actually my white house where she wanted everything white. And I said, all right, in the powder room, we have an opportunity to do something really different from the rest of the house because it's closed off and it's somewhere where your guests are going to walk in and really be wowed in the front of your house. And so as you can see, we had on the left, we had travertine up on the wall, and we had like a vanity that was clearly purchased after the fact, a white cabinet with a granite countertop, and these bowl sinks sitting on top of the counters I'm not a fan of. And so then we knocked and we tore everything out. On the right we have, it's a wall covering that's actually wood veneer. And it is pretty cool. We did some sconces on the right and left side of the mirror instead of an overhead vanity. I like to do that when you can. I think it's more visually appealing and interesting to look at. That faucet is a waterfall faucet, and I love it. It's so cool. The water cascades is what it's called. So the water cascades, which is really cool.
Is the vanity floating?
The vanity is floating, so there's no cabinets. I would not do that in a secondary bath or in a master bath, but as far as in a powder room, you can definitely get away with that. And I think it turned out spectacular. I think that's something that you could see in like a boutique hotel. We made the sink out of marble, so it's a ramp sink. If you're not familiar, the sink just goes like this towards the bottom, and there's just a singular drain at the bottom. So I think it turned out pretty nicely.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
All right.
And then we did a little bit of light remodeling. That fireplace, we put that in. So that was basically, we pulled it forward from the wall about 6 inches so that we could put LED lighting behind the sides of the fireplace. So when you sit in there and you watch TV, it's really cool at night. It glows essentially from the sides, and it's nice dim lighting to watch television in. It doesn't strain your eyes as opposed to looking at it with your recessed lighting from the ceiling. And
Those chairs are great.
oh yeah, the hand chairs. Thanks. Everybody loves the hand chairs. Those were a vintage find. I like to throw in, so this is obviously a contemporary home, but I like to throw in elements of, some of this could be considered traditional. Some of it is contemporary, and then like the vintage hands. I like to throw in vintage pieces when I can. Like I have a ram's head desk in my house that's really interesting. So I think that's a summary of that project.
That's great. Thanks for sharing this.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
All right, we like to do a little rapid fire.
Oh God. Okay.
You ready? All right, one design trend you're loving right now.
Warm tones.
Yeah, I agree.
What's one design trend you wish would disappear? Anything that you don't like right now?
I love everything. That's so hard. I don't want to see any more white and gray quartz. White quartz with gray veins is not cute anymore.
Out of there.
I'm with you. Yeah. What's your go-to way to elevate a living room quickly?
I like to do fabrics and wallpaper. So fabrics bring in the pattern and texture, and wall coverings. There's so many cool things that you can do with wall coverings now where it's not just paper. Like I showed you the wood veneer paper, and you can do grass cloth and different things to really put texture in the room. And I like to put texture in a room and color and pattern.
Yeah. I definitely think it makes it look different. It stands out.
Yeah, it makes your home unique and special. Yeah.
What's your favorite place to get design inspiration?
Favorite place to get design
What's
inspiration?
your go-to for design inspiration?
This is going to sound really weird, but inside my crazy head. I mean, I don't know why. I'm constantly thinking of things that I want to do to people's houses. I mean, I like going to Europe. I've bought some art from Europe recently for clients. So I'll go and shop and keep like a catalog of art in my mind, and then maybe place it a year or two later, as I have done with some art recently that I found in Paris. I like discovering artists because it's fun. You can design a room around art. Everywhere. I like going to cool restaurants because there will be things that I can take from a restaurant and put it in a residential project that really makes it more interesting. I don't know. I think that's it as far as inspiration.
That was a great answer.
I think so too. And I feel like a lot of people that we've asked that, they say, oh, travel. I love it that you have this Rolodex in your head.
Yep. If you weren't an interior designer, what do you think you'd be doing?
Well, in my previous career, I was in sales, and I would definitely own a business because I really enjoy owning my own business and working for myself. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. I love this so much, and I waited a long time to do this full time. I did this as my side hustle for a long time and then made it my full-time business. And I mean, this is like my dream come true. I don't think I could imagine doing anything else.
I absolutely love that. And that it comes across that from the moment we met you.
Oh, thanks.
So, yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on our show. We are going to link all your contact information in our show notes, but if you can tell our listeners where they can find you.
Yeah, so my website is my name, so www.katelongley.com, which is KATELONGLEY.com, and there's a contact form on there as well as my phone number and email address if you want to reach us.
Perfect.
That's great. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you.
All right, that's it for today's episode of Modern Home Mastermind. If you've enjoyed the show, please subscribe, like, and rate.
Thanks to our guest for sharing her insights and to you for learning about everything modern with us.
And if you're ready to take the next step in your real estate journey, please reach out to us at beSpoke Real Estate. And until next time, keep living, loving everything modern.